Hey, dark, overcast day here in North Florida. Anyways, I'm gonna do my contribution to A to Z, or as in the UK, A to Z. Um, going to talk about a mini series. Going to kind of cheat a little. It's not a film. I do not own a physical copy of it because it's not hasn't been released on media yet. It's won't be released till next month. Uh, but it's Agatha Christie's The ABC Murders, starring John Malkovich, who plays Inspector Hercule Poirot, Rupert Grint, Andrew Buchan, Eamon Farron, Terry Fitzgerald, and Freya Meaver. Directed by Alex Gabassi, which I looked IMDb and couldn't find any other films that he directed, so I assume this is his first uh, directorial debut. I guess this is a directorial debut. It was released on BBC One on Boxing Day in England, which will be December 26th, 2018. And it has been released on or streaming on Amazon Prime, where I found it. Excuse me, with the wife and I decided to watch. Mainly because John Malkovich being in it. I'm not a fan of Agatha Christie because, well, the reason for that is because I've really never read any of her books, and I watched Murder on the Orient Express, both versions. The original from the 70s and or the original film from the 70s, and the one that was released about a year or so ago, um, which I fell asleep in. So I had to rewatch that one again. So maybe I had to dig deeper into reading her novels. I looked her up. She had, uh, I mean, I've always heard of Agatha Christie, but she has like 75 novels. So I don't know if I'm only 52, so I don't know if I'll live long enough to read all of them. But, anyways, I digress. Like I said, it's based on the ABC murders written by Agatha Christie back in 1936. The story is basically Inspector Poirot, who is at the end of his fame. Um, he's older. He doesn't have, I guess, the I don't know. Anyways, he's not as popular as he used to be. He kind of set like a semi-retirement. He in the first scenes of the movie, you see him in the bathroom. He is coloring his goatee from gray to black, um, kind of make himself appear younger. I guess to make himself more relevant. He's not as relevant as he used to be. He goes to the Scotland Yard to see Inspector Japp, who is a friend of his. Apparently, in the novels, he's a main character. And especially in this book, he was a main character throughout the film. When he goes to Scotland Yard, he finds out Inspector Japp has retired, and that the new inspector come in, which is Rupert Grint, um, Inspector Crome, played by Rupert Grint, who is, if you're not familiar, Howard, and you should be, if you're a Harry Potter fan, you know Rupert played Ron Weasley, um, who is 30 years old. I mean, shit, I remember watching him when he was 11, 10, 11, 12 years old, whatever, on the Harry Potter movies. Now he's 30. I was looking at him, I said, God, he looks old. He's 30. What the hell? Anyways, anyways, he's in there, and he does not take kind to Inspector Poirot. Kind of feels like he's past his prime. Kind of a little bit of a jealousy thing, too. Insecurity with Inspector Crome. And kind of gets disregarded. Um, so Inspector Poirot goes visits Inspector Japp, who in retirement and winds up having a heart attack and passing away. But in the meantime, there's a character called Alexander Bonaparte Cust. He is a traveling salesman, and he goes to London. He's selling twinkle toes stockings for women, and that's his main thing. And that's how the setup is that he has a typewriter in his room and he's typing letters, but you never really see what he's typing, and he goes to these women. He winds up in this boarding house that's set up for him, and he had packages like the typewriter and the train station manuals and stuff. And basically, ABC murders are that the people are in each town that begins with like a town that begins with the letter A, and the person who gets killed has an A in their first name and an A in their last name. So they wind up getting killed, and so Inspector Poirot is trying to figure out who it is. Because he keeps getting letters saying that I know you, and I've been following you for a long time, and well, that sun's really bright, and so these letters keep coming, and he actually went to Inspector Japp. I say I'm terrible at these reviews. I don't know why Ian keeps pushing me to do them. So, anyways. So he goes to Inspector Japp to tell him about it, and he says, I'll just toss it off. There's nothing to it. It's just a crazy guy. Well, Inspector Poirot, the mind he has makes him think there's something not right about this, and he wants to go on. So when he goes to Inspector Crome, he kind of tosses him off too, saying that there's nothing to it. He said, well, there's going to be a murder in Andover, and we need to find out any crimes that have happened like that. So when they go and find out there's nothing big about, nothing major happened, no major, he goes and takes it upon himself to go to Andover and finds the first murder. And that sets up the next one to where they go to the next town, which is Bexhill, I believe it's called, in England, and then to another town, and that's where that murders happen. But he keeps getting these letters every single day that about this, and he's trying to figure it out. I was kind of surprised at how really well this is. It is a miniseries. It's 3 episodes, about an hour long each, but the cinematography in it was really great. I loved it. It was who was it? I guess I didn't write down the fellow's name, but anyways, the cinematographer. But it was really photographed well. It was photographed in England, at certain spots, which I didn't write down either. How bad of me! But anyways, it was filmed in England, and it takes place in the 30s. I want to say late 20s, early 30s, is when this takes place. Let me see here. Anything else about it? And not give it. I don't want to give too much away, but it is going to be released on DVD in March. I don't own a physical copy of it because, like I said, it hasn't been released on physical media, but it is streaming on Amazon Prime. If you have that, I would recommend it. It is actually pretty good. I might check out other Poirot. The show, I guess there's a show called Poirot that was on A&E in the 90s that I might want to check out. Kind of like a Sherlock Holmesy type character. John Malkovich's performance in this is really great. His accent, because I don't know how people from Brussels talk when they're trying to talk English, but it was really pretty good. His acting is great, as always. I always love watching John Malkovich act. I think he's a very underrated actor. I mean, he's played in some goofy movies. Played in Red 1 and 2, but in other movies like Dangerous Liaisons and I can't think of the one now where the Von Bulow case that he played, and he are very good films. He's always been a great actor. So, anyways, ABC Murders, Agatha Christie's, my contribution, A to Z. Next week, letter B. I already watched it. I'll have to film it. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you like. Leave comments. Give me suggestions. Uh, and thank you to everybody. All the other guys' films are up. Reviews are up, so check them out. Mike, uh, James, Ian are up. So, cheers.